What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the things I wish I knew before purchasing my first 3D printer. If you're looking to get into 3D printing or you're a newbie like me, then this video is for you. First things first, I'm a complete amateur, a complete newbie. This is my absolute first 3D printer, which is the Bambu Lab A1. I purchased this in December, received it in in January, and I've been printing a bunch of things with it. But the reason why I decided to make this video is because for a very long time, I've been wanting to get into 3D printing, but I was intimidated by the fact that I just figured that, to be able to design the things that you want to do, or I don't know, it's just 3D printing just seems so intimidating for me. But after watching lots and lots of videos on which 3D printer I should get for my first 3D printer, I came to the conclusion that the Bambu Labs A1 printer is the best option for a newbie like me. Now there is the A1 and there is the A1 Mini. The A1 Mini is basically a smaller version of this, cheaper, and it's a good starter 3D printer. But I went with the bigger one, which is the A1, because I wanted something that I can keep for a long time. If I got the A1 Mini, then I would have more of a reason to want to upgrade sooner because of the print bed. But anyway, so this is the first printer that I ever got, which is the A1. Now, most of the things that I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be things that a lot of you might already know about. This is for like an absolute beginner. Like when I was watching a lot of the YouTube videos, they were talking about slicer, or they're talking about hot hands. I had no idea what they were talking about. Even when I purchased this, I still had no idea what a slicer is. So that's like the level of knowledge I have when it comes to 3D printing. But like I said, the things that I want to talk about in this video are mostly cost related and some maintenance. So a few things first. Like I said, I have the A1. I got this on sale for $339. After tax and something like that, it's gonna be just under $400. So if you're looking for a budget 3D printer and you're trying to get something like this, of this size, those are the costs. So that's the cost of the printer itself. That's something that everybody's gonna know because you're gonna easily see. The things that most YouTubers don't talk about, actually all the videos that I watched, everyone talks about, oh, the printer is only $339 right now, it's on sale, it's only this and that, and you get excited, or because it's basically it's the most user-friendly 3D printer out there, so you have nothing to worry about, and you kind of get this hype that you gotta get this. But then you go on the website, you realize, okay, wait a minute, okay, it's $339, but if I want filaments, which you're gonna need, if filaments are typically around $19, you can go on Amazon, get them cheaper from a different brand. But if you want to get the brand that comes with Bambu Labs, you're looking at around $19 per PLA, depending on what kind of filaments you get. But let's just assume you're getting PLA, right? You gotta have black and you gotta have white. So that's two right there that you gotta have the basics. And then if you want something like red, green, and all that stuff, those are additional costs. And by the time you put all this in your cart, you're gonna be surprised when you're well over $500, because these are the things that you're gonna need. And you're like, okay, dang, I went from $339 to well over $500. How did I end up here? So now you have to start taking stuff off. Or if finance is not an issue for you, this entire video is probably not even a concern for you. This is for some of us that are on a budget. You know, I have a tech channel. I have to keep buying all this tech, and I have bills. I have other things. I don't really make money, much money off of YouTube and stuff like that. So I'm kind of limited in my finances right now. And when it comes to 3D printing, it can start to add up when you have to buy a bunch of different filaments, or in the case of a situation where I bought PETG. PETG is a type of filament that it's basically a stronger version of, okay, I won't say a stronger version, but in the world of 3D printing, there are different types of filaments. There's PLA, there's PETG, there's TPU, and ASA, ABS, and stuff like that. PLA is the easiest to work with for any beginner because you don't really have to worry about much. For example, if I have something that I need to print, I just do it on the computer or my phone, send it to the printer, it prints it with no problem. As you guys can see, my PLA is sitting right here. I haven't had to use the dryer or anything like that. It just prints perfectly, 99% of the time. Now, if you want to do PETG, it's also pretty easy, but occasionally you might have to dry it, which is why you might also need a dryer, depending on, where you're staying. If you're staying in a high humidity area, you're definitely gonna need a dryer. If you're staying in an area that there is really not much of a humidity, then a dryer might not be an issue. But I live here in Virginia Beach. I'm surrounded by water, so there's often humidity, high humidity over here. So I absolutely need a dryer for my PETG so that I can have quality work. Now that's another increase in finances. Increase in cost. So basically, these are things that you have to factor in before purchasing your 3D printer. Filaments, a dryer, tools like the burring tools, isopropyl alcohol. They're just a bunch of little things that you have to buy that kind of adds up to more than what you initially expected. It's like you have to buy filaments, but you're not really thinking about the cost of you're like, oh, it's only $19. You're not really thinking about all the different ones that you have to get. The hot hands, how you can't use one hot hand with the other. You have to get different plates to get different texture. There are things that you kind of don't really think about, that you might have seen in videos, but you don't really think about. And I feel like it's important for a lot of people to know this. Like I said, if money is not a problem for you, then 99% of the things that I'm talking about in this video is absolutely no issues. But even if money is not a problem, you still want to be fully aware of what you're getting into when you're buying a 3D printer, right? And that's why I'm making this video. Now, besides those costs of things that you have to factor in, this printer is basically as user-friendly as it gets. I was intending to get a Creality 3D printer. I had that in my shopping cart for like two or 3 years, but after a good amount of research, I came across Bamboo Labs, and I found out that this is the easiest way for me to print. So for me, buying a 3D printer has been absolutely worth it. It's not a matter of if I should get it or if you should get it or not. It's a matter of when should you get it. The reason I say that is because getting this 3D printer is one of the best decisions I've made, because I've been able to make so many modifications that I need for my house. I've been able to make light shades for my smart glasses. I've been able to make parts for like the tools that I have in my garage or parts that I have in my office. I've been able to just do so much with this printer. This is an example of some of the things that I've 3D printed. For example, this is a pen holder. I 3D printed this one. I was intending to give it to my mom, but she left before I could give it to her. This right here is something that I found on Maker World. And when I first printed this out, it was too small for what I needed it for, because I was trying to turn this thing right here. Let me show you exactly what I did. So the person put this file up there. So what I did was I modified it by adding this part right here, increasing the size. But then when I printed it out, it was ended up being too small for my need. I needed something of this size right here. As you guys can see, it's much smaller than this. Now, because I was able to modify it, I realized this thing is so firm. Like, the quality is so good. But what I need it for doesn't have to be that good. It doesn't have to be that solid. So I reduced the amount of fillers. Basically, I modified it in a way that it was lighter and wider, and it fits exactly what I needed it for this turntable. Let me show you exactly what I did here. You can see I have a turntable that can increase bass. It's a little loud, but this is a turntable that I designed. Well, I didn't design it, but I kind of modified something that was existing like this into a turntable, so that if I have something like a drone that I wanted to show off on my YouTube video, I can have something like this on this turntable. This is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. I wasn't able to until I got a 3D printer. So basically, I have this thing right on the back that allows, you know, this thing to turn into basically a turntable. These are some of the things that I mean by you can do with 3D printing. For example, this right here is a sunglasses holder. What I did was I modified the size a little bit so that I can put my smart glasses on it. And I'm gonna make another one because I have more smart glasses that I have to put, but I just don't have enough space, so I have to print out another one. Now, speaking of smart glasses, right? So somebody posted a file for something like this, right? For the X-Real one. And what I did was I took something like this and I turned it into this right here, so that when I put the glasses on, this thing right here blocks the light from shining into my eyes. For example, I have this smart glasses right here, which is the X-Real one. This thing just goes perfectly fit. It fits perfectly into the glasses. Basically, you kind of have to do this first. It goes into it, snaps perfectly fine. Just like that, a perfect fit. And this thing will block lights coming in from the side and from the bottom. But I was only able to do this because I have a 3D printer. Now, in order for me to do this, I went through a few iterations where the first one I did, I was like, oh, it's not wide enough. It's not wide enough. And then the second one that I did, it's wide enough, but there were some gaps in here that I didn't want the gaps, and the edges were sharp, so I had to remodify it for this final version where it's curved and it's completely filled. But basically, these are things that I mean by you can 3D print, right? This right here doesn't seem like a big deal, but I've had this vacuum for a very, very long time, and I misplaced the adapter that allows me to get into tight places for more suction. And I've been looking on Amazon to try and get a replacement part for a very long time, but now that I had a printer, I completely made a new one. This one is the first thing that I actually designed from the ground up myself on Tinkercad. So there was no file, there was no edit, there was no modification. I designed it from the ground up completely myself. It seems so little, but I am extremely proud of myself because I did not expect it to turn out this good, you know, and it fits perfectly for what I needed it for. Like, even down to like it just fits perfectly. Like, it fits perfectly the way I wanted to. And it's just crazy that I designed this, you know. It's such a satisfying thing, you know. If you're talking to someone who's more experienced that designs stuff like this, they'll be like, oh yeah, I do that all the time. But for newbie like us, like, to be able to make this, it's incredible, you know. Even things like this where I just simply modify by putting a stamp, making it a little bit bigger, it's still rewarding. So if you're really thinking about 3D printing, you should absolutely go for it. Just be aware of the things that are involved, like maintenance, occasional fill prints that you might incur, and accessories that you might need, like hot hands, plates, filaments, and things like that. Now, there is a camera on the printer itself, but the camera, you know, everybody will tell you the camera is not that good because of the angle, and it's a little slow. So I added my own camera on the printer itself. That way I can monitor the first print, because sometimes I follow Bamboo Labs Facebook page. I don't know if they, I don't think Bamboo Lab created the Facebook page themselves, or maybe somebody did. But anyways, I see a lot of people with failed prints because and it starts very, very early because they don't watch that first layer. So I had the camera up there, that way I can just make sure that the first layer is good. Once that first layer starts, for the most part, it's gonna be good. In my case, it's been good all the time. The only time I've had an issue was that first layer. And a lot of the issues that I've been seeing on Facebook seems to be first layer adhesion. You know, if you want to clean your bed, from what I've been reading, you know, you can use dish soap or isopropyl alcohol, which is what I use, and microfiber. That's what I've been pretty much using to, you know, kind of help the printer, help with adhesion and all that stuff. I haven't really been working with PETG as much. I've been using mostly PLA, and like I have TPU on the way from Amazon right now because I would like to print TPU. TPU from Bamboo Labs is a bit more expensive, and like I said, I'm on a budget, so I would like to print TPU from the ones that I see that Amazon has. But yeah, overall, this has been my opinion when it comes to buying your first 3D printer. My suggestion is that don't just listen to all the YouTubers tell you, oh, it's only this price. You have to be aware of all the necessary things that you will need to operate the 3D printer. And it goes along with, you know, just about anything, you know. For example, a phone, right? You know, they're like, oh, the phone is $9.99, but the reality is the phone might be $9.99 for the base model, but you still need, you know, but you need something with a little more storage. You need a case, you need things. These are things that you kind of have to factor in. Now, obviously, that's what research comes down to, but if you're not that good at doing research, and I don't know, I just hope this video kind of helps somebody out. Like I said, I'm a complete newbie, but thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Peace.